I would like to think the ACC is better, but results showing us different.
On today's Throwdown Thursday edition of the Yacht Coaches Podcast, Dr. Adams and Coach Francis recap Week 13 games, discuss the college football coaching carousel, review Dr. Adams' strictly for entertainment purposes only picks, as well as previewing championship weekend in college football. Welcome to today's show.
Greetings and salutations, and welcome to the Odd Coaches Podcast. I am your host, Dr. Keith Adams, and with me today is my tag team partner, the Kevin Von Erich to my David Von Erich, because I've been watching Vice around the territories, and they did world-class championship wrestling last week. The icon, the showstopper, the main event, and the reason why we are here, Coach Mike Francis. And Coach, have you even checked out Vices around the territories? They did the dark side of the ring, and they got in trouble with that. So they were like, look, let's do happy stories. But you got to check it out. It's good stuff, man. How are you, sir?
Thank you. I'm doing well. How are you doing today?
I am fine. I am back in one piece from Viva Las Vegas, and I even had a 20 left in my pocket that unfortunately I had too much free time, and God bless the state of Maryland. I got too much access, but we'll be talking about that in segment 3. But on this Throwdown Thursday edition, man, we're going to start off just jumping around the territories. So, Mike, the ACC is where we're going to get started. I'm pausing because they're non-bowl eligible teams. So great, wonderful. That means you've won at least 6 games, and some of these bowls will take you if you got 5 if they run out of teams. Okay. But disappointing is not a strong enough word that I want to use. Underperforming is not a strong enough word. Clemson lost to a middle of the pack, barely SEC team with so much on the line. I got to get your initial thoughts on that before we move any forward. Any thoughts on Clemson losing to South Carolina? And again, they're a middle of the road SEC team. You know, no threat. Good game. You know, got to play best, but we should beat them. Yeah, and they beat the best of the ACC clean on their turf.
Well, it just goes to show the difference in conferences. Like, they're the middle of the road SEC teams who are better than the top teams in other divisions. This is an example that the SEC can show to people who do the bowls when it's time to start putting people in bowls. You talk about 1-loss team, 2-loss team. Shit, South Carolina was more than a 2-loss team.
yeah. As we're sweating at the end of the year, we'll talk about that segment 3. But again, what in the world? So, all right, in UNC, who I like, they were very kind to me, rooted for them. They lost their last 2 games to end the season, and they're going to play for an ACC championship.
It's ACC. Football. It's ACC. I was going to say that you say it all the time. ACC football.
The quarterback you don't always want to be right, but good God, that was just.
I want to be right. The North Carolina quarterback was the best quarterback in the conference. We talked about him all year, and they still didn't get it straight.
And pooped the last 2 games, man. Yep. All right, so nice finish for Florida State, you know, and good luck in the bowl, and we'll see you next year. Louisville lost to the University of Kentucky. Now, again, Kentucky's struggling this year, and they beat Louisville clean. Again, I know it's a rivalry game and all of that, but ACC keeps being on the other side of the pay window, so to speak. And Duke was 8-4, man. So congratulations to Duke.
Another SEC team,
middle of the road, barely making it.
Beat another ranked ACC team.
Yeah.
So
an afterthought.
That's the weekend. Unranked SEC beats ranked ACC.
Wow. Yeah. All right. So we're going to move to the American. And, Mike, I'm actually going to pause you on the American because I'm going to ask you this question. What's the blasted difference between the American and the ACC? What's the difference? Tulane and UCF were the last two standing. And I'd have a hard time, flipping a coin, saying who's going to win. It's a disappointing season for the American Conference, but seriously, is there a gap between the American and the ACC after what I saw this past weekend?
I know Tulane played well. I mean, 383 yards passing, total yards, 221 yards rushing. I mean, that's good. 162 passing. I think that Tulane, because of the backlog, I'll go back to the backlog for COVID and all of that, trying to get people in, having to get kids in, and kids, the portal. I think you can grab 3 or 4 kids that can make a total difference if they stay healthy. You know what I mean? Kids that might have played at a Power 5 conference and dropped down because they definitely want to play and get playing time. I could see that happen. I could see that. And then all of a sudden, boom, you get a Tulane, you get a team that comes out like that no one knew about before. You got Kentucky, who grabbed some, lived in the portal. A lot of these schools live in the portal. So I would say that portal helped the American almost reach the ACC. I would like to think the ACC is better, but results showing us different.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of Fowler's recruiting. Do you want to go to a bottom tier ACC team, Big East team, whatever, so you can say you play in a big conference, or do you want to go in a top 3 mid-major and compete every year? It's the same team. It's the same team. All right, Big 12. We got a mess. And I'm excited about it because I want TCU in the CFP now. And I don't think it's going to happen because they're going to play Kansas State. And I think Kansas State is going to beat them in the Big 12 championship. I do. Because Kansas State's playing well.
They putting up numbers. Kansas State putting up numbers.
And TCU is beating teams with the small package at the end, holding the ropes, backslide, and then rolling out.
Pulling on the tights.
Pulling on tights. And Kansas State's like beating people. Like, okay. Now, again, it's Big 12, so I'm not, crazy.
Don't put too much into it.
I think Kansas State's going to beat TCU, and we're going to have a mess. And it's going to be bad. It's going to be really bad. Man, when we get to segment 3, we gonna sit here and argue about bad teams. Okay. And that's what's going to happen. By the way, Texas ended the season 8-4. They're back again.
They're back.
Whatever. Big 10, 9 bowl eligible teams. And Mike, I told you I was going to do this yesterday, and we haven't done a lot of this. I'm going to pan the camera. Kelly, get it nice and clear. I'd like to publicly apologize to Coach Jim Harbaugh and the University of Michigan for not believing in you. I thought your quarterback couldn't throw. I thought being in the horseshoe, which I have been to, with 106,000 people or whatever, it was going to be a hostile environment. And historically speaking, you do choke a bunch of them. So I wasn't, totally wrong and not believing in you guys. And you do have one more week to choke another one. But you earned that victory in a hostile territory, fair and square, and beat whoever you got to beat next week. I think it's Purdue. I don't remember. We'll know segment 3. And enjoy the ride. But again, I'm sorry. You earned it. 2 years in a row, you went there and you beat them. And gosh darn it, as Bob Backlund would say, I was wrong on that one. So the next question, Mike, is what do we do with Ohio State? Because they got beat clean. And I'm going to hear all week about a 1-loss Ohio State. But I'm going to remember how that loss was. Your house, your rules, everything was set up for you.
Exactly.
They didn't have the Heisman winner in the backfield.
Exactly.
And the quarterback who, quite frankly, nobody had a lot of thoughts about, slung 70-yard TDs on you. Yeah, I'm kind of not want to hearing about you. You tell me I'm wrong. What do you think about Ohio State?
No, man, I'm not. You know how I am. I told you before, between the two of them, one of them every year has to be in the forefront for the media's purposes. Like they love to put them in. They have to keep them in. Like I ain't sold.
Well,
I ain't
neither
sold,
am
bro.
I.
I ain't
They
sold.
beat you at your house. I really don't want to, now
Yeah,
we
why I
got to
gotta
talk
talk to
about
you?
you.
Why I gotta talk about you?
We will end with Penn State as a solid 10-2. They have the third best team in the Big Ten, and that's got to be worth something. But they're a top-heavy conference. So
I ain't got nothing to say to them, man. I just
uh,
don't. I say about them,
yeah, this is going to be interesting this week. So HBCUs, Southern beat Grambling, so they will take on Jackson State for the SWAC championship, with the winner facing the MEAC champion North Carolina Central for the HBCU Black National Championship, and I think that is like December 17th. So I hope Jackson State wins because they've been talking a lot, and we'll be talking about Dion in segment 2. But good luck to both teams, and again. MEAC had 5 conference games. It's kind of hard when you got 5 conference games to say I'm representing the other
Did you
side.
did you say Howard?
Howard's the co-champion. They're the co-champ. Okay, and put the banner up. Put it up. Okay, I don't care. Put it up. Wear the ring. I'm wearing the ring, Mike. I'm wearing it because I
I'm
earned it.
putting it in a box somewhere.
No, you're not. You're gonna
Yeah,
wear
people come to my house can see it. I'm not wearing that a co-champion ring. Are you crazy?
it. Okay, we're gonna go to the group of 5 because we love it, kill. Um, Conference USA Championship, North Texas versus UTSA. Uh, the MAC Championship will be Toledo versus Ohio. The Mountain West Championship will be Fresno State versus Boise State. And the Sun Belt. All right, I got to pause on the Sun Belt. James Madison beat up Coastal Carolina.
And they don't even count.
And they can't even play in the championship. And so Coastal Carolina will play Troy for the championship, knowing that JMU's the number 1 team.
In the conference.
And we'll take it. And we'll put the banner up. And we'll have the reunion in 10
banner.
years.
You have ring? You gonna wear that ring too?
Hey, champs, baby. All right, moving to Independence. So Liberty lost their last 3 games, and Hugh Freeze has got to be out, man, because he quit on the team. Sometimes coach say, "Man, you guys quit on us." No, man, that dude quit on them.
He ain't quit. He got Auburn on the brain. What you talking about? You ain't see that? He the leading candidate for Auburn.
We're gonna do that segment too, but man, how you lose 3 straight after being in top 25? Man,
Kids stop believing in you when they hear the rumors and everything. They don't give you everything anymore. Just like I surprised that Dion has still been able to hold it together. Ole Miss has gone through the same thing when the rumors were about Lane. Yeah. Lane just used it to par a 2-year extension.
Yeah.
Parlay he went from 7-5 to like 9-2 now.
Yes,
he ain't stupid. He used it for the right things. But yeah, kids start hear the rumors. They be like, "Is he leaving? He's staying." There's a little bit of distrust that comes in.
Oh man, Notre Dame ended 8-4. I wish it was 9-3, but that's selfishly strictly for entertainment purposes only. UConn and BYU will be in somebody's bowl game. We won't be betting on them. We'll be betting on whoever
yeah.
And then if Army beats Navy, they'll be bowl eligible, and I think their bowl's already allocated. So
Army Navy is next week.
Next week after, it don't matter.
I thought they already played.
No. They played Air Force. So Air Force is like the good team, but Army Navy's like the big deal. And it is a big deal, the pageantry and all of that. And I'm sure I'll pay some extra attention, take the under. Anyway, Pac-12.
Always take the under.
So I saw USC Notre Dame again for selfish reasons. And man, they look good.
USC
looked good.
Caleb
looked like a Heisman candidate.
Caleb looks good.
And they're going to play Utah for the championship of the Pac-12 this Friday, day after the show airs. If Utah wins, we got more problems.
Mhm.
So yes, I'm rooting for Utah. Mike, why doesn't Oregon want to be great? Can you answer that for me?
They just, I don't know. I don't know what the like. I always try to look at the team makeup and look at the staff, and you know, does the coach want to achieve more? Does he make the right steps to want to achieve more? But I just don't think they get that nasty looking mistooth dudes up front and in the trenches to beat teams that are more physical. They lack physicality. Oregon always has a lot of speed, flash and dash, but when it comes down to it, yeah, great uniforms. But when it comes down to 3rd and 2, 4th and 1, them dudes up front make the difference. And I've never seen name one lineman from Oregon in the NFL.
No, the Thibodeau guy was a defensive lineman. Never mind. So you beat me. All right. So congratulations to Oregon State, because they shouldn't have won the game. They came back and they beat Oregon. And hey, Washington came back to have a decent season. And trivia note for bowlers: Washington was undefeated against ranked teams this season. So I might actually pick a Pac-12 team. And now,
Whoa.
yeah.
Yo, you got jet lag? Can you help my partner, please?
Washington was
He just
undefeated
said he's
against
going to
ranked
bet
teams.
he's going to bet for a Pac-12 team.
That's a good stat.
That's what Vegas did to you. You can't go back.
My fan. That's funny for like 17 reasons, man. All right. All right. The SEC has 11 bowl eligible teams. So that's the good news. The bad news is LSU forgot that they were supposed to win before they played for the title.
Mhm.
So Georgia, bored as heck against Georgia Tech, said, oh, I guess we'll play now. So they beat Georgia Tech. But LSU lost to Texas A&M. Ole Miss lost the Egg Bowl. They dropped to 8-4. South Carolina rose to 8-4. So there's a difference. Ole Miss looked like, they staggered to the end.
Mhm.
And then South Carolina, they
Just
beat.
kept growing.
Think about the last two teams they beat. They beat Tennessee and Clemson. That's a pretty good way to end the season.
Yeah, it is.
That's pretty dang good.
That's how you get a contract extension too.
Oh, yes. So what do we do about Tennessee and Alabama? I know we'll fight in segment 3, but do they still stay in the mix?
Why not? I don't know about Tennessee, but Alabama definitely.
Well, Tennessee beat Alabama.
Yeah, that don't mean nothing. Are they playing with their quarterback? Is he playing? That's what was so impressive. I got to ask about yesterday.
Tennessee, no. Hendon's out for the season. That's an ACL.
Right. So for them to be able to put up points like that with him out, 56 points on Vandy, that's a lot of points. I don't care who your quarterback is.
You said Vanderbilt.
Still, 56 is a lot, bro.
Vanderbilt. So anyway, when we return, we're going to talk about all of these coaches. Go ahead.
Vanderbilt was 5-6 coming into that game, man. It wasn't like they was bums. That's an SEC team. They were 5-6. They 2 games from the bowl.
I know.
Think about it.
I know. It's still Vanderbilt. Anyway.
And I bet you Vanderbilt beat everybody in that American conference.
Yeah, I'm sure they would. I'm sure they would. Mm-hmm. So fans, a lot of coaching issues, contracts, some people coming, some people going. We're going to try to make sense of all of this when we get back from this break on the iCoaches podcast.
The reviews are in for Dr. Keith Adams' book, Finding the Balance, My Personal Journey to Academic and Athletic Success. College professor and student-athlete academic expert Dr. Lisa Rubin said, "There is nothing out there like this book, so I do hope people will pay attention and give it a read." Former George Mason standout Fowler Campbell said, "Consider this book an opportunity to work directly with Dr. Adams, just like I did. I assure you that there will be something you can take away that will be useful to you throughout your personal journey." Ryan Waite, a recent college graduate who is a software engineer, said, "I like how the book is based on research, which makes it good for general students as well as student athletes." The book serves as both a memoir to Dr. Adams' 30-year academic and athletic career, as well as an instructional guide to assist student athletes, parents, coaches, teachers, and administrators navigate through the challenges of finding a better balance between academic and athletic success. The book includes over 15 personal stories and anecdotes from Dr. Adams, along with numerous former players and colleagues from a variety of sports and endeavors. You can order your copy at www.ckasaveproject.org. From the main page, simply click CKA Save Project Services and order the Find the Balance book. For more information, contact Dr. Keith Adams by email at cka@ckasaveproject.org.
Welcome back to the Odd Coaches Podcast. In segment 2, we're going to talk about the college football coaching carousel. So 1, you beat me to the punch. Stanford coach David Shaw resigned from his position effective immediately soon after the Cardinals fell to BYU at home to end their regular season. And Shaw had been at Stanford for 12 years. He had won 3 Pac-12 championships, led Stanford to 8 winning seasons. He was the 2017 National Coach of the Year, 4-time Pac-12 Coach of the Year, and COVID kicked his tail, and they've been 14-28 over the last 4 seasons. So, yeah, he beat him. He beat him to the punch. Any thoughts on Coach Shaw? Yeah, wrapping it up. Okay. Should I stay or should I go? So Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss is staying. He signed an extension. And as Mike said, he's gone from $7.25 million to $9 million annually. I think Lane saw the writings on the wall and said, I think I'm good here in Oxford. And let's just go ahead and stay.
$9 million, like $100 million in Oxford.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay. So Hugh Freeze at Liberty. The rumor has it that he's going to Auburn. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't bring these things up. So, 1, Hugh Freeze is 53. Okay, that's not old by any stretch of the imagination.
No, not at all.
Okay, at Liberty in 3 seasons, he's 34-15. Okay, he is the former coach of Ole Miss, so he knows the SEC and he knows it well, and he's won some games against Nick Saban. That's what they keep bringing up. But let's not forget, Mike. He was dismissed prior to the 2017 season after it was discovered that he made inappropriate calls from a school-issued cell phone, coupled with an NCAA investigation that uncovered a lack of institutional control. So Ole Miss was penalized with a 2-year bowl ban, 2-game conference suspension if he was hired by an SEC school prior to November 30th, 2018. With that window now closed,
He's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Liberty, you got to commend them. They went from FCS to an independent school, and now they're going to go to
he got him where they
Conference
need
USA.
to go. Yep.
He developed Malik Willis.
Yep.
Or Malik Wills. And shucks, I think he's paid his time, and they're going to hire him at Auburn and fire him next year. Any thoughts on you say it like Auburn had done it. You say it like I made it up. I didn't make it up.
You're right.
All right. Deion Sanders, Coach Prime. He has been officially offered the job at Colorado, according to media reports. And Colorado is, I believe, in the Pac-12. Oh, yeah, Pac-12. But it's cold, Colorado. It's hard to run fast in the snow. So if you're Deion, do you take the gig or do you stay at Jackson State for another year?
I gotta go.
It's Colorado, man. It's really cold.
I don't care.
We gotta get Jake on the phone and let him tell us, because he used to cover Colorado and everything out there. But they're gonna have more money. The Pac-12 is winnable. You could be in the upper top tier of the Pac-12. You're gonna play, on TV. And again, I think Deion get them in the top 3, top 4 of the Pac-12. And you go 8-4 in Colorado, they're gonna build a statue for you.
No shit.
So we'll see what happens with that.
I go. I mean, Deion's been saying the whole time it ain't because of he's fine. He's set financially.
Mhm.
What always the biggest thing he had to that he felt about is the way they treat HBCU schools and programs. And where's the money at? The coaches don't make enough. The presidents know that, and they continue to shortchange staffs and shortchange these programs. Then you take a guy who come in like that and ask, open up the purses. Let's see where the money at. What's going on? Why we don't have the same thing they have? Like, why are
Yeah.
we setting our kids up for less?
Yes.
Why are
Yeah.
we taking less? And that's the HBCU mentality that is more, that you come here for education, not for sports. And that's not what happens when they go to the PWIs.
No, it's dare I say, it's a balance that we have to find because I
Exactly.
am
And
not mad
you
at
might have heard that.
athletics.
You might have heard that used somewhere before. I don't know.
It is the front porch, man. It is the front door. Athletics can get if you use it properly, you can eat. Everybody can eat. Academics can eat, athletics can eat, the community can eat, everybody can get theirs if you book it right. So
And the
Lance Lee,
average the average salary for head coaches in the Pac-12 is $3 million.
yeah, and
And I think
Dion
he
wasn't
makes
hungry anyway.
like 200,000 at
That I think he donates back to the program.
but
I think he does. If I'm not
right.
mistaken. It's
That's
like
how
us
they
with our stipend. That was
yeah.
our basketball budget.
Yeah.
That little 1,000, 2,000,
Yeah.
3,000.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how we got.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna play for the tournament. No, you're not paying for the bus. All right, I'll pay for
Yeah.
the bus.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we was working for free
No shit.
or 37 cents on the dollar.
Yeah. Something like that.
All right, so Lance Leopold at Kansas, he signed an extension and he did the right thing. Okay, so one, he signed an extension that goes through the 2029 season after leading Kansas to being bowl eligible. Um, his extension, by the way, he's 58, so this is it. He's not trying to do nothing else. And he jumped on that extension as fast as he could, and I'm good. I'm not. I'm just trying to win 6, 7 games every year, make an upset or two, keep it moving. Okay, because nobody can take this season away from him. So, congratulations to you, sir. Welcome back, Matt Rule. Welcome back.
Mm.
So he is officially the head coach at Nebraska
Mm-hmm.
after being the coach at Carolina. Okay. So one, if you recall, Mike, he was supposed to go to the Giants, and Carolina pushed that number in front of him. And let me see if I can get the right numbers right. They offered him a lot of loot, a 7-year, $62 million contract before he interviewed anywhere else. Mike France was a signer. He's not leaving with pen.
Well, give me the pen.
I'm not leaving the room.
Give me
I'm
the
not-
pen. Give
So
me the pen. I'm not leaving. So this is I'm gonna sign it. I'll stay here. Y'all call me once it's under the ink dry.
and the Panthers still owe him $34 million. Well, actually, I don't know why he was searching for a job anyway. But whatever, man. Whatever.
He said, "Why was
Um,
he searching for a job?" Cause
And
man, you know the
Nebraska,
Panthers suck.
yeah, Nebraska has plenty of money to clear the $8.85 million guaranteed salary. Um, but Matt Rule can coach in college. Okay. What he did at Temple, he made Temple a winner. And when he took the Baylor job, Baylor was smoking dust when he took that job. So, hey, welcome back, Matt, and enjoy Nebraska, whatever you do in Nebraska. I don't know what you do in Nebraska.
You
All
shuck
right.
some corn.
First time hire. Arizona State's finalizing a deal for Oregon's offensive coordinator, Kenny Dillingham, to be the next coach. So Dillingham is 32. All right. And he started his college career at Arizona as an offensive assistant in 2014. And he's a graduate of Arizona State. So, they're bringing in their young hotshot, returning guy. He's going to be the youngest coach in the Power Five. He replaces Herm Edwards. So they got an old guy with Herm, and now they go completely opposite with the young guy. Oregon's put up some points, but this is a lot. to do. This is a lot.
Yeah.
And, Arizona State's roster has been negatively impacted by the transfer portal. There's a talent drain. Um, but he's got local ties, and we'll see what happens with that. 32 though, and again, we don't do things by the birthday candles. But being a head coach in a Pac-12 is a lot, and you still got to just play the games. You still got to do that. So I hope he hires an old head to whisper in his ear. See, he can guide himself through this. Bring your key to the executive washroom.
Oh.
Florida Atlantic has fired Coach Willie Taggart, ending a 3-year run that featured just one postseason appearance and a 15-18 overall record. Man, Willie, like 3 years ago, was the hottest thing going. And he had the Oregon job, came back to Florida State. That didn't work. Went to FAU. That didn't work.
I almost forgot about Willie.
You need to take a break, bro. Somebody's gonna hire you, but my goodness, you need to sit back a little bit.
You told Willie chill out.
It's a lot of moving. I'm sure the wife's mad.
Willie, you need to slow down, Willie.
and you've got to remember, they're going to the American. FAU becomes the third team in the American to make a coaching change. Charlotte went with Biff Poggi. UAB's coach Bill Clark retired, and interim coach Brian Vincent's most likely not going to get the job. And FAU is in Florida. Mm-hmm. They had Lane Kiffin before Lane went to Ole Miss, and they were doing a good job. So that should be an interesting. So Mike, go ahead.
Who do you think is? Because Florida Atlantic. Who do you think?
What they usually do is hire one of the coordinators from the state schools, Florida State. They ain't really innovative. They're not really doing anything. So we'll find out. But the last thing I want your administrative hat on. Keep an eye on Ryan Day. The man, as Jim Harbaugh said, was born on third base. Great line, by the way. He got beat twice by Michigan, and it wasn't close. How much longer does he live off Urban's shadow?
That man said born on third base.
That's Jim Harbaugh's joke, not mine. But should Ryan Day be worried?
Yeah.
Last coach lost to Michigan twice was John Cooper.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't end well.
He should definitely be worried. You know how it is. It's short. They don't play. What have you done for me lately?
Yes, indeed. So
it's just that simple.
All right, fans. So when we get back on the Odd Coaches podcast in segment 3, we're going to talk about things strictly for entertainment purposes only and why we now have too much access to gambling. And that's a great thing, and that's a bad thing. We'll be right back on the Odd Coaches podcast.
There is an old business adage that says, what gets measured and monitored gets done. It is also fact that deadlines spur action. That is what the CKA Save Project's academic monitoring service can do for student athletes. Measure and monitor their academic progress to improve their grades. Our academic monitoring services provide ongoing academic support for student athletes for a designated period of time. Our academic success coaches work with student athletes on time management and organizational skills, along with improving their ability to self-advocate. Every few weeks, our academic success coaches meet with student athletes to assess their academic progress, as well as provide ongoing academic advising. If needed, student athletes have access to CKA Learning Specialists who provide virtual core subject academic support for student athletes. For more information, visit us on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org or schedule a free virtual consultation with Dr. Keith Adams by email at cka@ckasaveproject.org.
Welcome back to the Odd Coaches podcast in segment 3. Fans, I don't know how this is going to go because my partner and I are talking about this for the first time together out loud. So, OCP top 5. Georgia's 1. Got no argument there. Michigan's 2. They got to be. TCU's 3 for another week until they lose to Kansas State. And I got USC as 4. I got USC as 4.
And who 5?
I got Ohio State as 5 because they're gonna put them at
Oh
5,
my God!
and
You
that's
left
gonna buy us.
Alabama out the top 5.
That's gonna buy us a week. That's what the committee's gonna do. They're gonna put Ohio State at 5 to buy everybody a week. So now here's the outside looking
Ohio
in.
State got to go.
Alabama's on the outside looking in, but they lost to Tennessee, who's on the outside looking in, and the committee apparently cares about these things. But Tennessee's loss was a bad loss, and Alabama's loss was in the last plays of the game. And then Clemson's still hanging around because they got 2 losses. And somebody might have 2 losses in there. So I don't know. So I only got 2 clean. Georgia and Michigan are clean.
Yeah, okay.
Because Georgia, they're gonna beat LSU.
You think?
I think they're gonna beat LSU. And Michigan, they're playing Purdue or somebody like that. I have it at the bottom, but come on, man. You saw the Big Ten West. Those are some bad teams over there.
Shoot.
It's bad.
I think
Some
they got
bad football.
They got to do some realignment.
Well, no. Remember, next year or the year after, they're going to do what everybody else.
The schedule.
Yeah,
the way
top
they
2 play.
Yeah.
But what are you thinking, Mike?
I think you got to put Alabama number 5. You got to put them 5. They might not be in the first 4, but they got to be number 5.
And the committee had them at 7 going into this week with teams above them losing. So
somebody got to slide down.
Somebody's got to slide down.
And I'm saying Ohio State need to slide down. That's who need to slide down.
That's
you
got to
slide
loss,
down,
man. That's
at home.
That's a rivalry, and they put the flag in the middle. Oh man, you can't put the flag down
without their starting running back.
Without their Heisman, and we'll get to him in a little bit. All right. So moving forward, so fans, I was disjointed this week with my picks because I put a lot of energy on the NFL on Thursday. So I did these picks on Friday because I was going to be in the airplane on Saturday.
4, by the way.
Yeah. Well, shucks, man.
Thursday.
So I was 0-5 this week. I was. But here's the 0-5. I picked Carolina minus 6.5. They were supposed to win, go into the championship game, and have a shot. That didn't happen. Baylor, Texas, I picked under 56, and that didn't work out for me. My 2 play was Boise and Toledo because I want to see how these second-tier teams fit because I got to start picking, bowl games, and Toledo lost. My 3 play of the week was Florida State. Yeah. UCLA, but that wasn't easy. And North Carolina, who shouldn't have lost to NC State. And my money line pick, usually it's not a money line pick. I'm going to start calling it the upset play of the day. I picked Baylor over Texas. I don't mind. It's supposed to be an upset. So upsets aren't supposed to happen. That's why they're called upsets. So look for picks Saturday morning. And starting Monday, December 5th, I'm going to do a Dr. Adams Daily 5 with the 5 games every day I'm picking. 5 for 5, Daily 5. I'm only betting $5. That's why the wife says you should call it the Daily Cheap, but that's another story for another day. And as we end the regular season, fans, I started off betting $120. I had 12 teams that I bet on their season. And at the end of the season, Mike, $120.20. So I am plus 20 cents. So congratulations to Georgia, who handled their business. Kansas, who got me early. Nebraska for choking like dogs. We're not liking Notre Dame right now, but it's not the USC loss. It's some other ones. Penn State, over 8.5. Texas and Texas A&M, a 2 play. Both of them were under 8. Texas got to 8. And Texas A&M weren't even close. South Carolina came back strong. They won 8 games, and I didn't think they'd win 7. And we joked about it for weeks. Clemson choked. I understand that one. And Ohio State, I was wrong. Yeah, okay. So, Mike, we got championship week. So let's see how you're picking. Friday, December 2nd, Pac-12, USC versus Utah. Who you got?
USC.
USC. Okay. Conference USA. Please pick a team and don't make me laugh. North Texas versus UTSA. That's University of Texas San Antonio.
North Texas. They're on a good run right now.
Who cares?
They
got a
They
show.
are. North Texas is on a good run. I only paid attention. Jareem was down there as the basketball coach before they left, and now they're at Kansas State. So, yeah.
All right, Saturday, Big 12, Kansas State, TCU. Who you got?
I'm going to take Kansas State. I don't believe in TCU.
Believe it either, man. But it's a great story, man. Mac, Toledo versus Ohio.
I haven't seen either one of them, so I really can't.
That's
I'll
okay.
be honest with you. I can't.
Sunbelt, Coastal versus Troy.
I think Coastal win that one.
Troy is like 10-2.
Okay.
The American, UCF versus Tulane.
UCF.
All right, Mountain West, Fresno State versus Boise State.
Ooh. I think that's a pickup. That's close. That's a pickup.
Look at you with the gambling terminology.
That's a pickup.
SEC, LSU versus Georgia.
Come on, man, Georgia.
SWAC, Southern versus Jackson State.
Jackson State. Last game, I predict that's his last game coaching at Jackson State.
No, he's going to coach in the national championship
bowl
game. Yeah,
what?
The Heritage Bowl, the Black National Championship.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
Yeah, my fault.
ACC, Clemson versus UNC. I can tell you who's going to lose, the fans.
Yeah. That game, both of them lost last week. They some shit.
How you go into the championship game on 2 losses?
That's what I'm thinking about LSU and Georgia. Like LSU got embarrassed. They didn't, come on.
Yeah, I'll pick Clemson out of protest.
Yeah, Clemson will take it because UNC is not strong enough up front.
And then Big 10, Purdue versus Michigan. It is Purdue.
Again?
They won the West. And I'm hanging the banner. I'm hanging the Big 10 West banner. I'm getting a ring that says Big 10 West champions. Get the T-shirt. Undefeated.
I think you take the final 4 teams in the state of Maryland high school, combine them to make one team, and they will fucking win the West in the Big 10. God damn. That's horrible.
All right. So Heisman watch. Okay. Ohio State's quarterback C.J. Stroud's not going to win. He may get to New York, but you can't play that bad and
he out.
Win the Heisman.
Herndon is hurt. He out.
Caleb is like on fire right now. If they win, because they're going to pick that after the Pac-12 championship and before the bowl game, he's got a shot. I like the little kid from Michigan, Blake Corum. I heard the little story.
He's hurt.
Yeah, he's hurt. Bo Nix blew it. Sorry.
Oh no. Yeah, well, yeah.
He blew it. TCU's quarterback, if they win, he's going. He's not going to win, but he's going to sit there with his nice suit on and eat them cheese sandwiches. Or
How many of them going? How many of them
going?
going?
Five, I think.
Oof.
North Carolina, Drake May. That's it for you, pal. And then, hey, we don't talk about Stetson Bennett.
Who?
The quarterback of Georgia.
He's not on the list.
But he's the quarterback of the number 1 team. And
I'm looking at the thing here. He ain't on here.
Well, the current
we can't talk about. He ain't on the show notes. I can't talk about.
the current odds as of this morning when we tape, plus 10,000.
So is Bo Nix.
So yeah. So all right.
Bo Nix is out.
Is out.
I say it's only two possible. I would say USC's Caleb Williams, TCU's Max Dugan. Those 2 are probably the 2 favorites. Only because Blake is hurt. Blake Corum would be the 3rd. Everyone else is out.
All right.
Everyone else is out.
Yeah, I agree. So major bowl watch. Right now it is projected Ohio State versus Utah in the Rose Bowl. Cotton Bowl, Penn State versus Tulane. You better not lose that game if that's who you play, Penn State. Sugar Bowl, Alabama versus K-State. This is all projected based on pre-championship games. And the Orange Bowl would be Clemson versus Tennessee, and that's a lot of orange. Okay. And then some secondary bowls, just all predictions. Citrus Bowl, Penn State, Ole Miss. Again, these are just projections. So some of the projections don't have Penn State, playing there. I'd rather see Penn State play Ole Miss, but whatever. The Rely Quest Bowl, Iowa versus South Carolina. South Carolina earned themselves a good bowl, man. They did. So Notre Dame's in the Gator Bowl projected against Arkansas. The Alamo Bowl has Texas versus Washington. That wouldn't be bad. And one bowl kind of close to home for us. It is projected right now that in the Guaranteed Rate Bowl, Texas Tech would play Maryland. So I just wanted to let you know the early projections.
Texas Tech and Maryland.
That's an early projection. Again, we got to let all of this stuff.
That's a good bowl for Maryland. That's a good bowl. It ain't the RFK Bowl or the Naval Academy Bowl. Actually, that's an actual bowl. My man Loxley got an actual bowl.
Again, these are all projections, and once the conference championships are done, then you'll start getting the bowl invites. But hey, we like to, make some projections out there. Mike, anything to add before we wrap up this week? A lot of stuff to talk about.
I'm glad to be a part of this. Shout out to State of Maryland finally getting it right for the mobile betting. Let's go. Larry Hogan, I love you.
I didn't say all of that, but yes, I'm very excited about doing it from my couch. And I picked wrong last night again. But anyway, on behalf of my tag team partner, Coach Mike Francis, I am Dr. Keith Adams saying thank you for listening and or watching. Click the little subscribe button that Kelly's going to put on the screen, and we will see you on the sidelines. Till next time, take care.
The Odd Coaches podcast is sponsored by the CKA Save Project. The CKA Save Project is an industry leader in providing student-athlete academic and athletic support. From assessing student-athletes' academic and athletic skills, to measuring and monitoring student-athlete academic progress, to improving student-athlete time management and organizational skills, the CKA Save Project provides wraparound services for student-athletes from middle school through college. For more information, visit us on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org or schedule a free consultation with Dr. Keith Adams by emailing cka@ckasaveproject.org. We hope you enjoyed today's show. The Odd Coaches podcast drops new episodes every Tuesday through Friday on most weeks. Make sure you subscribe to the Odd Coaches podcast on Apple Music, iHeartRadio, Podbean, Spotify, and YouTube. Follow the Odd Coaches podcast on Twitter and Instagram at Odd Coaches. Follow Dr. Adams on Twitter and Instagram at CKA Save Project. In addition, follow Coach Mike Francis on Twitter and Instagram at Coach Franchise, spelled Coach Franchize. For more information about the CKA Save Project, please visit them on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org. See you next time on the Odd Coaches Podcast.